Hello, hello,
Oh,
hello.
hello.
Welcome all to another episode of FPL Jedi Show. We are uh we are just finished our game week 27, okay? Which I don't know, we can say that our Burnley asset has failed us during those matches. Would like to welcome back my co-host Azmin, who has been missing from last week episodes. How are you, brother?
I'm fine, thank you, and thanks. Sorry, I was not able to join for the past couple of shows, and I don't know what Hafiz has told, but basically, a few members in my family were contracted COVID-19, so we had to rest. And of course, I wasn't infected myself, but of course, it meant that there was so much going on, a lot of things that had to, So even if I joined the session, then I will probably keep getting interrupted. So, and I don't think it'll be fair for the viewers. So, but fortunately, Hafiz was able to get a great replacement, the leader of the FPL of the Jedi League, to give his thoughts, which was great from what I saw.
All right. Wish all the best, speedy recovery, Azmin. Hope everything is went well with your family now, so we can focus back to where the action is, which is game week 28, 29, and 30, which is the focus that we might talk in deep during this show. Okay. All right. Let's go. What's in store for tonight? We'll definitely first one run through our game week 27. How's our team perform? Okay. Both over actually free hitting. So we have a look. Then we run through some stats and match analysis. What happened in game week 27? Then we actually will deep in game week 28 how managers are handling their transfer. A lot of people talking about wildcarding. or using our transfer, taking hits and so on to manage game week 28 and then focus until the blank game week 30. Number 4, we are gonna have a look team and players to target, especially if you're wildcarding this week. We also will run through game week 28 conundrum, pros and cons. Okay, whether wildcarding is actually good to do this week. We also, I think Azmin has draft us a wildcard team for us to just run through our options. Then the usual captain pick, whether we still think Salah is the best option despite only single game week, or we should focus who's playing twice. But as you all know, Watford and Burnley players has foiled us before, so we'll run through. And then what is our transfer plan for this week? Okay, man.
Yep.
I think I give you the honor to run through your team.
Okay, so I had a good week. Went up by 47, 48, 40, 47K. So pretty good. So
Good job.
70. So my team was a bit unorthodox, not the typical team. I
Not the
selected
typical template lah. Okay.
yeah, I didn't really follow the template aside from having Weghorst. So I had two Newcastle in defense. I had Dubravka and Burn. So I was looking for that clean sheet against Brentford, which happened, which was good. Dubravka, unfortunately, he got -1 for time wasting, so which is annoying. And it's frustrating when you see on the bench I have Foster, who scored 10 points against a very frustrated Manchester United. So I ended up not going for Pope. I was considering going for Pope, but then looking at the history,
that's the most popular pick lah. On Game Week 27. Yep.
So one of the things I did was I looked at the history of when Burnley played Leicester and Burnley played Crystal Palace. Now in both games, it was I think they drew 2-2 against Crystal Palace and drew 3-3 against Leicester. So for me, that suggested a lot of goal scoring. Now, of course, that was before, and now Burnley's defense had improved a lot. But it was enough to put me off buying Pope because I felt that, for example, Leicester with Maddison, was the goals are always there. They'll concede, which is why I still went for Weghorst. But then I wasn't confident about that clean sheet. But I still ended up picking Tarkowski. So, but I still ended up going for 3 Burnley players because it's a triple. And the third person I picked was Cornet, despite his injury risk. So he ended up not playing the first game. He played the second game, managed to get the clean sheet and got subbed off before they lost the clean sheet. So in the end, he actually scored the same amount of points as Weghorst. So in the end, it didn't turn out badly. And I had Maddison for not captaining Weghorst. I put Maddison so I have an extra player for that midweek. And he did. I was awake when they announced the lineup and I saw Maddison wasn't starting. I was like, screw it. Fortunately, he subbed in, and him and Vardy were subbed in, and both scored, which illustrates the quality in attack that Leicester have. Maybe the defense is rubbish, but yet somehow they managed to keep a clean sheet. But then in terms of goals, they can still score goals, and that's what I was banking on, and I got lucky. I'm not going to deny it. Gallagher burned, KDB burned, but obviously I went for Son and Kane, and I ended up captaining Kane over Weghorst.
That's the highlight for Game Week 27 for you, definitely.
Yeah. So unfortunately, when you look at it, it means I missed out on Kevin Walker-Peters and Livramento, the Southampton who came clean sheet, and I could have gone for the Southampton keeper instead. But at that same time, I thought that Norwich would be able to score. I thought the situation was that desperate, but they still didn't, which tells you a lot about them. So in all, thanks mainly to the Kane captaincy, scoring 11 points compared to Weghorst 3, it really paid off for me, and I got 70 points, which was quite a high score. And so I was quite happy.
Average last week is 40 points. You can see there. So you are like 30 points more than average points scored by managers. So well done. Let's go to my team, man. We
Yep.
in terms of points, I got 62 points. We both free hitting, but my team is more template than you. Okay, I'm hoping for a big one, especially on Man City asset like Sterling, Bruno. Even I have also high hope for Wet Horse. Okay, and normally I like other managers. What they do is captaining him for this double game week. But it turned out, like you said, only scored three. I think he got a yellow card, so only 6 points from him. I can see from goalkeeping, which is Pope, only got 5 points. No clean sheet, but save point. I think 5 points is like almost like a clean sheet minus a yellow card or something like that.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I think Pope was getting the points from more to save points. So I won't deny that I'm a bit frustrated. I'm expecting a big score from Pope. He normally, I don't know, in double game week, he and me or whoever the backline is normally can deliver like double digit points, get 2 clean sheets back to back, but not the case.
Yep.
And your stats revealing on Crystal Palace and Leicester reverse fixture, something like that, prove right. The rest is Cancelo 9 points. I think a lot of manager also playing around Man City asset, like playing put Laporte in order to fund Mahrez and also Sterling in midfield. But Cancelo proved the best pick of the bunch. Livramento 8 points. I never doubt I'm going to play him, even though there is a rotation race between him and Perot. But turned out KWP or Calvin Peter Walker so actually scored more 1 point better than him, but he's higher in terms of price. It's okay. What pros I expect something, but 3 points in the end. Okay, with his price of 6 million plus, so I should not comment. I could go other way like Coutinho or even Gallagher, but they turn out to be the same, right?
Yep.
Bruno, I think. I expect something. Manchester did not turn up. It's a goalless draw between Manchester and Watford. I think a lot of managers also suffering because they suffered from Sancho benching. Okay, they put like
Yep.
Sterling, Sancho, and Mahrez, and suffered from the rotation. Okay, I think everyone feel that. But Bruno is not that far. 3 points. It's nothing much. that then Son and Kane actually saved my week. 9 points at 11. Like you, like everyone have. I feel everyone has. If let's say they're free hitting, so in terms of Broja, okay, 2 points. I expect something, but not to be. If you can see on my bench like you, Foster, Sa at 12 point. I never gonna play him, but I need a filler which is 4.3, and yeah, it turns out he's the best of all. And
Yes. Considering I went for Newcastle defense, I really missed out. You know, I had to choose between Burn and Shah, and I really didn't do enough research in terms of statistics, because apparently statistics wise, Shah has more attempts than Burn, and I didn't, I screwed up there because I just didn't find the time to do enough research. So that was a missed opportunity there. That would have
I think
boosted my score for sure.
maybe if I think Sa, I don't know. A lot of time, if let's say Newcastle deliver something or involve, I see his name, so I say okay, never mind lah. I just try him, but in the end,
Yeah,
on uh,
it's good.
it's just there for to like
Fill the
to cash
bench.
out to people. So overall, my ranking, I think this is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, this year I'm inside 100,000. So
Oh,
hopefully,
good.
hopefully I can stay there and even do better. But
All right.
as you know, is tough. I can tell you that even like say
Yeah.
we perform like 10, 20 points better, other managers can perform better than us. Then we might
Well,
miss out on him.
congratulations, yeah, on hitting the top 100. Hope you stay there and was hit up. Hopefully, I'll join you soon.
Yep,
Uh,
yep.
but and I guess I need to redo that graph to show our progress among weeks. And then I haven't updated it recently, but I'm pretty sure because yours will be more consistent, whereas mine is like that. so so no worries. I'll do that in the next one. So let's move on.
Yep. All
So well
right.
done.
I just have a glance. This is the best of the best 11 in Game Week 27. As you mentioned, Foster is there 10 points. The biggest winner, I think, Doherty, 18 points. Spurs actually scored 4-0 against Leeds. And then Doherty, I think, delivered assists and also goals. Okay. We maybe talk a bit more later when we run through the matches.
Yep.
Cash means deliver 14 and 11 points. Aston Villa keep clean sheet against Brighton. I think they're involved in this. I think Cash got a goal. Salah, like you mentioned, and also Walker Peter. And then Such actually scored, not Bowen. Antonio did involve, okay, and assist, but that's about it. But Such actually scored the biggest points. Romeo, not JWP. Sayang to me. It's okay. Slurp. Vardy, 11 points, yeah, from the bench and can match Kane, who actually playing the full 90 minutes.
Crazy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. So obviously there are some players here you wouldn't think of picking, which is Romeo, Schlupp, Susek. Maybe Susek last year. Once upon a time, he was the bee's knees. Doherty, of course. We don't know
Just
what's
touch a
going
bit
on with.
on Doherty. Looks like he's the first choice of right back right now. I think so.
I don't know. It's hard to tell with the Spurs lineup aside from Son and Kane. So you would think that just when you think they got some rhythm and they're doing well, and then suddenly last night they lost to Middlesbrough. They were playing a full strength team, which is almost the same
Yep,
team as.
yep, yep, yep,
So
yep.
so it makes you wonder what's going on there. So and it makes you concerned if you're not picking Son or Kane, if other than Son and Kane, who else is there other than maybe Loris that you can trust to pick, because it's just hard to figure it out, and I'm not gonna. I can't risk it. I'm the thing is with Sun and Kate, obviously they already expensive investments in itself, so that's why I felt okay. Just have one representation and that's fine. Um, Other than that, Shah, we talked about it earlier, but just want to highlight Cash and Mings both turning up again. Two Aston Villa defenders, they got a clean sheet against Brighton and scored 2 goals playing away. So obviously it also shows there's problems with Brighton. But for Aston Villa, this is the first time they've won in quite a while. Yeah, they haven't won for quite a while, and um,
Hmm.
so this one will help. And it's just nice for those of us who are looking at having who already have them for double games, but these are maybe not the two players that you expect to have. But for those with Digne, Ramsey, if we can see an upturn in their form, then they could prove to be very valuable.
Yep.
The last thing I would just want to mention is, of course, Vardy. So as you mentioned just now, so he's back on the menu. And one thing with Leicester, uh, where fixtures are concerned, they still have at least two. They still have 2 fixtures that need to be rescheduled. So
Hmm.
it's it's
Yep.
yeah, maybe not. It won't be
Maybe not
28.
now, but along
Yeah.
the way, yeah, definitely there into our thinking. Hmm.
After game week 30, it's definitely we can start looking at them. Of course, obviously on my part, it was free hits. So I could have chosen, and that's why I went for Madison just to have some
Yes,
fun.
yes.
Um,
It's a fun thing. Yep.
yeah, but eventually, yeah. So but after game week 30, we can look at Leicester again.
All right.
All
Okay.
right.
Just run through a bit of match. I think the first one, Burnley played 2 games, but you can see Burnley players did not perform or do nothing. Yeah, the opponents actually scored more than them. Crystal Palace actually drew against Burnley. Okay. Uh, and then only say 3 bonus point. Okay. Lennon pop up and assist for, I think, is it an own goal? Yeah? I'm not sure. Okay, but it's 1-1 nil. And then I expect something big against Leicester, but it turns out Leicester actually dominate and win against Burnley. And the attacking force of Vardy and Madison coming in
Yeah. Yeah.
as a super sub, you can call it. And Vardy and Madison did perform even though they played less minutes.
Yeah, to be fair, that Burnley Leicester, I did watch half. I did watch the match, and the first half was actually there were it was lacking quality in terms of for both teams in terms of the final touch in the final attack. So, but it goes to show when you have someone like Madison and Vardy on the bench, you can call them on, and it paid off almost instantly. So it's something to look at. But coming back to my team previously, so I was so confident that Burnley would concede that I made sure I had one representative from Crystal Palace and one representative for Leicester. So I had
Ooh.
Gallagher for
Yeah,
Crystal
yeah.
Palace and Madison on Leicester. So Gallagher didn't return, but Madison did. So
Well
but
done. Well
but the
done.
point is but the point is both teams managed to score against Burnley and and stop the double clean sheets from happening for most fantasy players. So I'm not unhappy about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Frustrating week for Burnley assets. Whoever actually brought in this week, I can say is a failure. But I still feel they are uh, to hold, okay, because future Burnley does have some game that they need to play. I think
Yeah.
like 2 games or something like that. So even though they blank, they might play in game week 30. It's depending on FA Cup matches this
Yeah.
week, right? So in terms of Southampton, okay, we actually
No, wait.
uh,
Just one last word about
yeah.
Burnley. It's funny because
Okay, all right.
the last time they had a double game week match, it was against Brighton and Spurs, which was really tough,
Oh
much
yeah.
more tougher matches than this one. Yet somehow Weghorst ended up with double digits,
Yeah,
but for this one,
40
he ended
points
up
something
with
like that.
3. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So it goes to show the how hard FPL can be, even if you try to follow the
Yeah, that's
stats.
why people are brought it in. Like Pope like double digit 10 points, I think. Me like 21 points. And then Wet Horse 14 points. So we definitely buy in lah. And then this week has proved that yeah, how quick turn can turn. Right?
Yeah. Okay, Southampton.
Okay, we go to Southampton. Okay, we definitely expect Southampton to win at least by some margin. In the end, it's 2-0. No, nothing from Broja, but Adams continue to perform. I have a
Yeah.
quick glance here. For the past 4 games, he has involved in any goal involvement, whether pop up with analysis of goal. So definitely Adams is something that we need to consider. I just want to mention.
This is the problem for me when it comes to the, because when I watch them play, and you can tell when a lot more people have picked up Broja compared to Adams. And I felt that one of the reasons was when you look at Broja plays, he's always looking to create. He's always like he always seems to be involved. Whereas Adams is this big chunk of a person just trying to bulldoze his way through, not sexy at all in terms of goal scorers, but then somehow he's the one who ends up with the goals. So it's really tough. And even now, when with Southampton having another double week, I'm not I'm not keen. I'm still not keen, even though they scored. You can see, but it is against Norwich, though. We have to put the caveat there. But yeah. I'm putting my personal bias. I said, Southampton definitely should be considered for the next couple of
Yep,
weeks.
especially Shadam, which definitely for me, he's definitely not on my radar at all. I think Broja proved to be more price friendly because he's like 5.5 or
Yeah,
5.4.
that's right.
Adams is like 6.97 million. So
Yeah,
there's still a gap. Okay, but looks Adams continue to show managers that, hey, I'm the one that you should pick, not Broja, and please invest more for me. All right. So okay, the rest, I think KWP and also Livramento is something that if let's say we want to think of a budget friendly enabler into our team, okay, especially Livramento, but Livramento still not sure, right? Because Perak will definitely definitely is something that
It's a bit of a risk.
hmm,
Yeah,
yeah,
although
but
KWP does seem to be the better option, even though
yep,
Livramento wins off because of the price. So that's the problem.
yeah.
A challenge there.
Okay, next game we go. Leeds versus Spurs. Are we expecting big score? Yes. Are we expecting Spurs score 4-0? Maybe, especially because Kane and Son perform. Kane got an assist and a goal. All right. Son did deliver on the 80 minute, 84 minute or something like that. But
Yep.
Doherty and Kulusevski, man. Kulusevski especially continue to perform.
Yeah. So this is the match that caused Bielsa to lose his job,
Yep.
and and it's it's
Sad.
it's good in one sense that um yeah, I mean it was inevitable for Leeds because with poor results. Although I did quite confused as to why they fired him, because at the end of the day it's not. In January we knew there were lots of injuries, yet somehow they
Yep.
didn't
Yep.
do any
Yep.
real. They didn't buy any players to
Yep. Yep.
reinforce. Calvin Phillips, Branford, all
Yep.
these key players are injured, yet they didn't do any reinforcement. So for them to fire him was kind of surprising for me. I didn't
Yep.
expect that.
Same with me. I think definitely give him time,
And
at least
and
until end of season.
and where FPL related, it does cause a question mark now. Are Leeds going to be a team to target? Because that was what I've been doing in the past few weeks. Always pick up someone to play against Leeds, and I did. I've been doing it to great success in the past few, and in this case, obviously, I had Son and Kane and Captain Kane. So um, it'll be interesting to see for Leeds with this, but we'll have to see how their new manager does and whether he'll, whether it'll look good or whether will still default to the problems that they had previously, because the personnel are still the same.
Yep. Yep. Correct. So I think I just want to touch on, I don't know, Leeds is like don't buy, don't sell. I don't know if let's say you are having Rafinha, especially
Mhm.
double game week here. Although it's uncertain how the new manager, which is it JC March, will line up his play, but definitely with the quality of Rafinha, you need to play him somewhere. So I
Yeah.
feel it's a keep if let's say you have Rafinha. You don't buy if you don't have any leads asset. That's for sure. But in terms of Spurs, man, just I don't want to talk about Kane and Son. We just want to touch on the Hoti and Kulusevski. Is
Yeah.
that something that we need to consider?
Yeah, Kulowski as a midfielder, if especially I don't know if you want to go triple up, but if you don't have enough funds for Sun, then Kulowski might be a decent option because he does have an eye for goal, and looking at
Yep.
his match, he's lively, and he's one of those players who can make a difference.
Okay, fine. Let's go to the next match. Brighton versus Villa. I think we expect some tight, but in the end, Aston Villa got the better of Brighton. No Coutinho, no Ramsey, no Digne involvement, but we can see there the forgotten man. Can I say Watkins
Yep.
is back on the score sheet?
Yep. So part of it, we could attribute it to a change in formation. So for this one, um, Steven Gerrard moved to a diamond formation, which so he played Watkins and Ings as partners rather than having Watkins on the left, in a 4-3-3, and it paid off. So it does bode well for the likes of Watkins and maybe Ings, although I still don't know who takes penalties yet because we haven't seen one. If both are on the pitch, but Coutinho would be really useful in if he's at the tip of that diamond formation. He could really prove to be good value there. However, I do wonder what happens to someone like Ramsey, because that means Ramsey will play a bit further back than Coutinho. I expect he won't be playing the defensive midfielder, but then he may end up playing in a further back position, which may or may not be good for him. So that's the part I'm trying to solve, because I do have Ramsey in my lineup, and
Yep.
that's the problem. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I think because this win was the first time Aston Villa have won in quite a while. They had been having a bad turn of form. So So it'll be interesting to see whether they can continue, and they have double games as well. So something to look.
And would like to remind they will have a game in game week 30. All right.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
So
Next is Brentford versus Newcastle. I don't know. I expect something from Brentford, but in the end, Newcastle got another win, and they have moved away from the root of the table. I think they are like 15 or 14 now, so they're a bit less stressful for Eddie Howe and his team. We can see here 2-0 win. Willock, Jolinton, and then Fraser and such also involved in assisting the goals. A quick look at Willock statistic. He has been delivering or involved in goal or assist for the past 3 matches.
hmm.
Someone to consider, man.
Yeah,
Especially
definitely.
Newcastle have back-to-back double game week.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the results of last night mean that they won't have a match on 30, but I don't think it's enough to rule them out. One thing you have to see the attribute to the uptake in form. I read the article in the Athletic about how Eddie Howe was, making things different in the dressing room in terms of the motivation, and it seems to be paying off. And we saw that. And the thing is, for this match, one thing that people were turned off into, but most people turned off into picking up Newcastle players was because one, Kevin Trippier was injured, so Trippier was key. But the other problem was ASM was injured as well. So Saint Maximin was. So these are two key players to Newcastle's revival. But because after reading that article, I felt that it's more to do than just them. It's not just them who's causing the improvement. So it's the overall squad, and we saw that with Willock. Unfortunately, for myself, I just went for the defense because I was confident they keep a clean sheet. But if I had gone for a attacker, but if you look back, you'll notice that Wood is on my bench,
Yep, yep,
just
yep.
just yeah, just in case Cornet fails to turn up for both matches. So I'd have, because I thought Newcastle had the chance of scoring, but unfortunately it wasn't him, and he didn't come in anyway for my team. But the other point, which you mentioned, Wheelock, but I also like to mention Fraser. So Fraser, in terms of stats, he's been playing further forward. Not sure how this will change once ASM goes back, but definitely Newcastle should be in people's radars to look at.
All right, good stuff. Let's go and see the next the matches played in game week 27. A nil Manchester against Watford. What disprove? Disprove that Watford, we cannot put him as same category as Norwich because they know how to defend. And Foster as a great bargain is especially playing double game week this week. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Okay, one thing, yeah, no, you're right in one sense, because if you look at since Hodgson took over, their defense has improved. They are conceding less goals, a lot more. Although there was Manchester United had chances, both Ronaldo, both Bruno Fernandes. I think some people who had them both expecting them to whack Watford were horribly disappointed. For me, I was relieved because I ended up not risking anyone for Manchester United. At the same time, I thought that Watford would score, but I couldn't risk. I was too scared to pick because of they haven't been. But I feel that Hodgson
especially last week, Watford lost 1-4 to Crystal Palace. That's why.
Yes, exactly. So that was the one anomaly in Hodgson's reign so far, because it's always been 1-0 or 0-0. And then suddenly, after that made a lot of people, keep their Manchester United assets. So unfortunately, unlucky for them. But at the same time, I don't think really anyone put Watford in unless they had no other choice.
Yeah.
But I do feel that now that they've Hodgson has improved that defense, now he's going to look at improving the attack and see what can be done. And I feel that's where Watford could still be a good option, although maybe not king.
Just want to highlight, like Azmin mentioned, let's say manager doesn't realize, King minutes are definitely not secure anymore. I can see he's been hooked off in the 50th minute and so on, and missing at least 2 points. So he's definitely a no-no. And if they say you have him, I think he's definitely a consider to sell and get someone else like maybe the same bracket like Broja or someone like that.
Yeah, but we're
So
falling into the same trap of, oh, he has a double game week. Oh, let's keep him yet another week. So so I've been looking at selling him and realize, no, I need to sell someone else because at least he has a double week. So
mm, mm, mm,
we'll
mm,
see
mm,
we'll
mm.
see how we go.
But whoever has Dennis, I think it's a whole to me. His minutes more,
Agreed.
he's actually
Totally agree.
performed better than King. So King is a no-no lah to me. All right.
Dennis definitely looks better, and I think
Yep.
Sar,
Yep.
with Sar back,
Yes.
I think the goals will come.
Yep. Okay. Maybe it will come this double game week, man. So we see the next one. Man City against Everton. Everton lost to Southampton, I think 2 near, and people are expecting Man City to come back strong and trash Everton. In the end, we've been played out again by Pep Roulette, and you know who turns out to be the hero is the Foden, who actually nobody wants him.
Yeah,
That's
because
how.
everyone's looking at Sterling and Mahrez, who were the performers, who had been the goal scorers lately, and then suddenly in this match, Mahrez was benched, right? Yeah, and then then Sterling got subbed off, and then Mahrez did come in, but in the end it was just Foden. I had KDB, so I was actually worried about this Pep Roulette business that it put me off doubling up on City, and I felt KDB has got to be the safest pick. So I just go for
Yep.
KDB
Fair.
and forget about the rest. And he did play, but unfortunately he did nothing. And but Everton did show some defensive resilience there, and I feel that is also going to be a factor. Looking forward, they may not be the pushovers that we regarded them mid season. They seem to have improved. So something
Yep.
to consider next.
To be fair, I think if let's say the recent qualm by Lampard that Everton should be awarded a penalty because handball by Rodri,
Yeah.
and in the end it could actually turn out a different score line, but that's not the case. So I think Everton has still something to prove. They are definitely in relegation battle. If they have not realized it, definitely they need to do something to perform. If not, they will definitely suck into that because easily Burnley, if let's say they come to form, Burnley can get out from that bottom three. So last but not least, West Ham versus Wolf. Both team are a good team. Okay, I can say in form. In the end, West Ham actually win this tight game. Suchet produced the goal. No, nothing from Bowen again, but Antonio at least produced an assist. Whoever still holding him.
Yeah, I think this is where the free hitters were hoping that no one of FPL value would score because because those who were free hitted ended up not having Bowen, ended up not having Jimenez, because they
Yep,
were they
yep.
were under more juicier assets. But fortunately, sorry, yeah, but fortunately they did it. So okay, Antonio did score, but actually most people, even the non free hitters, have moved him on. So it wasn't that not that damaging for those of us who free hitted.
Yep. If let's say FA Cup, I think West Ham wins against Southampton, and definitely they do not have they blank in Gameweek 30. I
Hmm.
feel a lot of managers will move out Bowen from their team. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah.
Okay. Anything else? We proceed to the next one.
Yep, yep. Let's
Okay.
go.
This is where we go into Gameweek 28, where we dissect on how managers handling transfer for this week. From survey posted by Fantasy Football Scout, 37% manager are choosing using free transfer and hits. Okay. The second one is managers are thinking of doing wildcard, 28% of it. And then the rest free transfer, no hits. If let's say you have to transfer, then by all means use them. And 10% thinking of free hitting. So how you see this, man? Do you agree this is how should
Yeah,
manager? Hmm,
I don't know. Yeah, it's quite interesting. To be fair, wildcard is something I have been considering for this week, but I'm looking at again at my tier. I realized maybe I can just get away with a hit. So
okay.
moving to the first option.
So
I'm
you
surprised with
agree with the first option lah?
Yeah, I'm surprised with the free hit one, because it does if but I guess if they haven't prepared for this game week and it was
Yep.
more building up to the last game week, then yeah, then I guess that's how it is. Um, but interesting. For me, I was actually looking at bench boost this week.
Okay.
So, but a lot of people who had wildcarded in 26 were looking at bench boosting this week, because they had set their team up for that. So, especially with quite a lot of this is one of the most serious double game weeks where there's more than two teams involved in double games. Yeah, so yeah, it could be a good time to bench boost if you're looking at doing that.
Okay. To me, I think a lot of hype of wildcarding. So I expect like a lot of managers will vote on second option, which is wildcard. But it's not the case. It's a lot of other manager, maybe like us, who's thinking that maybe we should just only do free transfer.
Yeah.
But see how it goes. Okay.
But one possibility is just that simply a lot of people had wildcarded on Game Week 26. That's why they don't have that wildcard option anymore.
All right. Fair. Fair. Fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to game week 28. Team and player to target. We share
Correct.
here. As we all know, everyone will play this week, and on top of that, 16 will play twice, which is Southampton, Newcastle, Wolves, Watford, Leeds, and Villa. Okay, I think some of the teams that have, I think, can consider good fixture on paper. That Southampton has Villa away and also home to Newcastle. Okay, Newcastle, on the other hand, also has good fixture to me. They're playing Brighton home. Okay, Brighton has not been so good recently, and away to Southampton, which Southampton can also be playing open and opportunity for Newcastle to score goals.
Yep.
Wolves, on the other hand, two home
Home.
matches, right?
Yep.
Against Crystal Palace, not bad, and Watford, which is, yeah, we mentioned how tight they can be, but Wolves can deliver attacking force to them. Okay, Watford on the other hand, I think tough. Home to Arsenal, which is tough. Away to Wolves, so I don't expect so much from them. I think so. Okay, then Leeds also not bad, right? Away to Leicester, even though
Mm.
Leicester won last game, and also home to Villa.
Yeah. So
Last
so
but not
so the
least, okay, last but not least, Villa also has good fixture, which is home to Southampton and away to Leeds. So we have plenty of choice, mate.
Yeah. So the problem with obviously, firstly with Leeds is that is a new manager coming in, so we're not sure what the style is. But of course, as you mentioned earlier, when it comes to valuable players, you think that Rafinha is the go-to player. So the safest pick, even in a change of managers, is go to Rafinha, and because FPL points, he's known to we know that he can score and he is involved, and now he takes penalties. Although again, we don't know if the new manager might change things up, but we don't have any evidence for that yet. But the other thing I want to mention, okay, so that's these. Before I get to the rest of the teams, one thing, an announcement by Norwich saying that their match with Chelsea may be brought forward to this week if
Okay.
both teams progress, or at least one of the teams progress in the FA Cup this weekend, next week. Sorry, tonight. Sorry, tonight.
Yeah, yeah, tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tonight. Yeah, the match is tonight. So yeah, and because it's Chelsea playing Luton Town, so you'd expect
So
that
we'll
Chelsea.
definitely know before the deadline whether
Yeah.
Chelsea gonna double or not. And Norwich, yeah.
So, but Luton Town is one of those teams fighting to be promoted. So although we would don't want to underestimate, but the Chelsea strength in depth should
Okay.
be more than enough to handle it. Norwich, of course, is a different story. Norwich play Liverpool, so I just can't see Norwich winning
Yep.
against Liverpool, even with a second string.
I don't think Norwich can produce that
Yeah.
same result against Wolves. I think the last round where they shockingly wins against Wolves. This is
Yeah.
a different animal. Yep.
So what this means is, of course, that they won't be paid. Chelsea and Norwich won't be playing in game week 30. They will be playing this week. So Chelsea does become options here, which we can discuss later. Okay, so moving on, just looking at the players to target. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm surprised you still put King there for Watford. I would have just left
Okay.
Dennis as far
Yeah,
and left
yeah,
it
yeah.
there.
Dennis Sensa is the man now lah.
Yeah, if you wanted a filler, maybe um, Sissoko as a cheap, but then you have someone like Ramsey who at the same around the same price, who's much more better. So no, yeah, don't do that. And everyone else, yeah, it's fine. Jimenez, Sa might be a better option as well because home games, the chances of a clean sheet is there.
Oh
As
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
Good,
something
good.
to look at.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
as well. Yeah. Yeah, Huang, we don't know. He's still, whether he can be consistent enough. So that's
I
a challenge.
actually did consider to put Huang there, but I think his minute still a concern, right?
Yeah, her minutes are still a concern. So it's it's not a easy thing to decide on. Yeah, pretty much everyone. And in terms of Coutinho, Watkins, and
Okay.
Dini, yeah, Watkins coming up is good. Yeah, Watkins is
Yep.
should
So
be considered.
I run through the player to target again. If let's say
Yeah.
we have a choice to pick only one player from each team. Okay, we go
Okay.
one by one. Southampton, who's the first player should be the one? If let's say we bring in for Southampton, is it Brozier?
I go for
Or Adams?
Walker Peters. Actually, I feel
Okay,
that
all right.
the
Kyle
option
Walker
there.
Peters. All right,
Yeah.
good. Can I say we agree that for Newcastle is Willock?
Yes. Yeah. Willock.
Okay.
Although Fraser is looking good as well, but then I feel that he may suffer a bit when ASM comes back, but Willock should be stay.
Okay.
there.
For Wolves, Jimenez is the one, although maybe we concern on the minutes because he
Jimenez.
doesn't.
Obviously, I have it. No, I feel that was just a rest, just needed
Okay.
to manage his squad. So I think that was just a rest.
All right. Okay. So Jimenez is the first one that we should consider lah if let's say picking Wolves and set. All right. For Watford, it's just between Dennis and Sa.
Sar.
Okay. Leeds is a no-go, but I think the first one is definitely Rafinha. Okay.
Yep.
How about Aston Villa?
So this is the question, isn't it? Because a lot of people are looking to captain Coutinho. So the question now is whether that the win that they had against Brighton away is the start of good form. So we don't know that. So we'll see. But I like the signs with Coutinho.
So okay, Coutinho is it not Watkins Saudini? I think that's the popular pick, and I think I agree with you.
Do you want to consider Chelsea?
Okay, Chelsea. Who's the first one on your team sheet? If let's say you need to pick one,
Alonso.
oh, okay. That's the one that you pick, which is a lot of managers still consider as rotation risk. To me, I think the safest pick is definitely Rudiger, but whether it's a boring one, but I'm not sure. Reece James is another one, but we're still not sure how well or how well he can actually fit in back after injury. So it's still a concern. So if they say Chelsea double this game week, I think maybe Rudiger, unless you want to try out the other rotation risk in midfield like Mount and Havertz, which at the stage both of us have Havertz and Mount somewhere in the season, right? So we know how the feeling is.
So the thing with Havertz, I think there's a worry about him if he plays, Lukaku doesn't. If Lukaku plays, he doesn't play. But then the last few matches, we've seen that Havertz and Lukaku playing together. They've started a couple of matches together, and Havertz has been in good form. He scored in the Club World Cup final. He scored a few times, and and he's generally looking good in the current system.
Okay.
Chelsea's looking a lot more fluid. I don't know what you think as a Chelsea as a Chelsea fan, but I do like looking. But of course, that rotation, you can't
Yeah, yeah.
stop thinking about that.
I think if let's say between Mount and Havertz, I think maybe Havertz has the credibility and also form. Mount still coming back from injury, but Mount, as you all know, will definitely take the corners and free kicks. So that's another consideration that we need to think. It's something that to think lah. Okay, whoever Chelsea player is, but I think defense is the way to go. Okay, man, we go to the next one. Just put a context, right? I mean, you're talking about how we're going to plan for future. Okay, this where I took from Lego main FPL, which he's um, put this picture colorful and for us to have a look. Thanks for his creativity doing this. So we can see here, game week 28 and 29, we know it's double for something like 6 teams. We know Newcastle gonna have back-to-back double, definitely. Another thing that we now want to highlight on the game week 30 is depending on the FA Cup matches, but we already know 3 matches will happen, and the fourth one will happen. Whether which one? Leicester versus Brentford, okay. Wolves versus Leeds and Villa versus Arsenal. Whoever have these players, definitely a keep until game week 30. The one thing that we are not sure because yesterday night Spurs lost to Borough, so then there is possibility whether Spurs or West Ham or Burnley against Southampton will play in game week 20. One of them definitely will play. So we will know before the deadline. So that's for sure. If let's say West Ham lose, definitely Spurs asset will become more of a target from manager.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
that
yeah,
is
it's a really
yep.
tough one. But I mean, the point here is just simply that we really need to look at all these fixtures moving forward, because you don't want to be left in a week where you barely have any players and you don't have any chips available. And this is the
Yep.
reason why we've been trying to save some of these chips to face these weeks. And obviously, we know that there'll be a lot of double game weeks with one or two
Yep.
teams, two or two, or, only one extra match or two extra matches. But it's really important to take a look and see. Obviously, you shouldn't. I mean, obviously, if you're looking at matchups, you should still go for whatever looks like an overwhelmingly good matchup for a person rather than two mediocre two gamers. But you still need to account for that and look at where it's leading to, and which is why the planning of your chips, for
Yep.
your wild carding and your free hit is really really important. And because we have the extra free hit, it will be entirely especially useful, especially if game week 30, if you end up not having enough players, then you may want to hit your free hit chip there.
Same. If let's say you are not planning to free hitting in game week 30, this is where you start to plan who's the team has fixture in 30, brought him in this week, which they have double game week and so on, like Villa SS or whoever they will be. So I think
Yep.
there's another strategy that you can use, which is in my thinking. Lah. Just a
Yep.
quick one, man. Just share that Leicester has 3 fixture that has not been arranged yet. Norwich,
Yeah.
Everton, and Chelsea. So maybe, like you mentioned, after 30, Leicester will have these extra matches, which should be a consideration for managers
Yeah.
to bring in, or if let's say wildcarding after that, to definitely
Yeah,
put
one of
them
the
into.
challenges for the scheduling is just that Leicester are also involved in the Europa Conference. So so that is one of the main reasons why they haven't been able to reschedule those matches earlier yet. But it will eventually come, and we know that Leicester, okay, fine, the defense is have issues, but attack wise, there's definitely a lot of FPL potential there. So something to look at.
I just realized here by seeing here, man, we will
Yep.
have international break after game week 30. I think that's a
Yeah, the
good
last
timing
one.
also after all these back-to-back game week and blank game week, and have a quick recap back and how we should approach for the last 8 games of the season. Oh, I think that's the right
Yeah,
timing.
yeah, and maybe we can get more of the rescheduled by then. Like
Yes, yes.
all the dates of all the rescheduled matches. Yeah, because the FA Cup shouldn't be in the way much for most of it. Um,
Yep.
yeah, after this week. So, but we'll see. Yeah, but of course, but at the same time, there are teams. Um, take for example Watford and Brentford. They're at the bottom
Okay.
of the league, and at the same time, they don't have any matches to be rescheduled. So it's not looking good for you to want to go ahead and pick them, for
Yep.
example.
Yep. Yep. Fair, fair, fair. All right, man. Let's go to the next one, which is we just run through what is the pro and cons wildcarding in 28. I just shared this because I also take some point from Fantasy Football Scout. I
Yep.
just extract some of the points that for us to discuss.
Yep.
Maybe we can discuss and then think, maybe yes. What if let's say we thinking wildcarding? It's a good point based on this. So
Yep.
pros, if let's say we wildcarding this week, we are definitely gonna have preparation for double game week 28 and 29 especially because we're gonna take advantage to load players from this fixture, and
Yep.
then we can consider to bench post in double game week 29, like picking cheap budgets, yeah, like macam contoh second keeper lah, right?
Yep.
Dubravka 4.4 partner with Ramsdale, say, yeah. So
Yep.
definitely it's a good choice, bench boosting, or another
Definitely.
filler in midfield like Martinelli, Gordon, something like that. So I think it's a good point there, the second
Yep.
one, okay,
Definitely. Yep.
because we already know what they can deliver, and also we can take advantage of back to back Newcastle double game week, right? And then on top of that, the pros, another one is actually preparation for blank game week 30, which we already know the likes of Arsenal, Wolves, they're going to have fixture in 30, plus double game week in 28 and 29, and we can save free hit for a different week. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. So that free hit chip, if you can get away with not using it in Black Game Week 30, I think it's really really good. Yeah, because you have, but that means you prepare it. Yeah, because the thing with Game Week 30 is there's not a lot of fixtures, and a lot of the big teams are not going to be there in terms of FPL points, their potential. So the exception seems at the moment seems to be Spurs. Yeah, so you want to probably reallocate your funds so that by the time game week 30 comes around, you'd have at least Son or Kane. Yeah, for the big hitter, because chances are most likely, unless something weird happens, Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester City, or Manchester City or definitely won't be in game week 30. But assuming Liverpool, aren't going to make it if they win tonight, which they probably will, and Chelsea will win tonight, they probably will as well. So these are the teams that who suck up a lot of money from your teams, but they're not going to be involved. So there'll be a lack of quality to have a full squad for that game week 30. And the current theory is that if you get away with 9-10 players for game week 30, that should be enough. Whether or not, so is that good? So for me, that makes it a good time to wildcard, especially if you have a problem making those players for game week 30. And the good thing is because after tonight, we will know what's left for game week 30, and that's the time to wildcard. So
Okay.
so so those are, I agree with the pros, especially that bench boost, because you can find the cheap ones for
Yep, yep.
79.
I'm tempting. I'm tempting on that second point also when taking off wildcard. Okay, we just run to the cons. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe potentially better time to use wildcard after game week 31 onwards. Could be. We will never know. But if let's say we know, I think I read that the second point, which is future fixture swing, that Leicester going to have 3 additional matches. Spurs, Palace, and Manchester have kind of fixture after that. So maybe that is the right timing and focus until the end of the season, because so-called Spurs, MU are still fighting for fourth place. Okay, and then the third point is actually navigating end season chaos. We just never know what's going to be in game week 30, 36.
Yeah.
Normally, what we do, we expect 36 is going to be a big double game week. So if let's say we work holding now, we potentially will not take advantage of that.
Okay.
So that's another point we should consider. What do you think, man?
All right, so I'll address the first point first. Definitely, that refreshing team is useful, and plus, which a point which you highlighted earlier was that it's after the international break. Lots of things can happen. People players can get injured. And it's after game week 30, which was that week where there's lots less players involved. So I feel it's a fantastic opportunity, especially if you had built your team up and had 11 players with game week 30, which means that you don't have a lot of those star players, your TAA, Salah, but then game week 31 suddenly you'll need them back again. So that's definitely I agree with the first, to save it for game week 31. Fixture swings, yeah, definitely. I think Leicester, um, 3 additional matches is useful, and as you mentioned, the kind of watches for the end season chaos. Okay, so this is an issue. I agree with back game week 33. I'm not so comfortable with that double game week 36, and the reason for that is just simply that this is the time where a lot of players, a lot of teams may have already secured their objectives. They may be safe from relegation, or they comfortably mid-table. They know gonna get above, so there's a
Agree.
motivation, and then they start playing new, fresh players
Agree.
who didn't get enough game time. So I'm not comfortable. I'm trying to find a way to use my bench boost earlier. Yeah.
So, by looking at these pro and cons, what is our conclusion? Is it Wakarin 28 is a better choice?
Um, Not for me. I'm looking more to game week 31 instead.
Okay, okay, fair. But I'm tempting to do the because of this pros.
Yeah.
They fixture because I can load up with the players. I know this fixture already. I can
Mm.
plan double game with 29 bench boost, which is good, and preparing for Blanket 30. All good points that made me thinking that Wildcarding is good this week. So we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Okay, man. This your wildcard draft. If let's say you're wildcarding, maybe just run through.
Okay, so I think it covers a lot of the points that we talked about earlier, in terms of the double game week. So you have Sa. So I've got Sa and Ramsdale. So Sa has a double game week this week. Ramsdale has a double game week next week. Um, and that's what it's reflected in the fact that I also have Alt Nori and Jimenez. So I've tripled up on Wolves. Um, Also to remember is that they do both, Wolves do play in game week 30 as well.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so that will be really,
Fits all the bill. Mm.
yeah, fits all the bills. Okay, so then there's the hype on Aston Villa. So I've got Digne and Watkins. So I feel that the change in formation will be of benefit for Watkins, and Ings as two strike partners rather than him being shoved off on the left. I've maxed out on Liverpool. So although they only have one fixture this week, but they have two fixtures next week, and I think that's be useful. Jota coming back into the side. Okay, I don't think he's ever been in my side, so maybe this might be it. But then but I'm not looking at wildcarding. But if I did, then I'll put in. Havertz, we mentioned. So my Chelsea reps I mentioned earlier, Alonso and Havertz, and I feel that these are
Okay.
the main options that I would like to include if I were to wildcard. I think Alonso has shown some form recently, and Havertz looks good in that position, and he looks confident. I've seen watching some of his play. Although Chelsea were really unlucky against Liverpool in the cup during the I'm talking about the normal playing time, not the penalties. Forget the penalties. Looking at that, the game was lucky to, uh, weirdly enough, finish 0-0. It could have easily ended 2-2 from both sides,
Yep. Yep.
scoring. Finally, I just want to mention the two. I have Fraser and Dennis. So the reason is Newcastle. Of course, I feel I need at least one rep. Newcastle, who will play both double game weeks, even though they
Fair.
don't play in game week 30 anymore. Uh, Dennis does, however. So this could easily be, instead of Fraser Dennis, this could be Sar and Alan Saint Maximin. If
Okay.
ASM is fit, then I may actually end up having SAR and ASM instead if I were to wildcard, because I
Fair.
feel that
Fair. Fair.
the one thing to remember. Okay, this I forgot to bring that point up in that fixtures, your fixture ticker earlier. one thing to remember for, especially for these lower relegation zone teams, is that we are approaching that point in the season where they're going to start picking and choosing which matches that they feel they can get points. Yeah, so there's two implications. Is one, maybe you want to pick them when they are going to go all out and try to win, but two, that means for when they play against, say, Manchester City, they're just gonna feel the weak team because they feel they're not going to get any points anyway, and those are the teams to target. So that's something I feel is an important point to think about, because we are in this is the last 11 game weeks. I think the teams have started to look at that.
Okay, fair. So I think I agree most of it. I think it's a good team. But you know me, I will be more template than you. So maybe I will have Broja instead of Dennis. Okay, Sante as a good fixture, double, and also potentially playing in game with 30. Fraser maybe Willock, because Willock has can be more explosive than Fraser maybe. I might not choose Alonso, but definitely a rep in Chelsea defense, whether Rudiger or I'm not sure about Silva, but Rudiger is the more secure. So I think the rest, I don't know about Coutinho. I'm tempting to bring him in, but your midfield is so good. I'm not sure who to drop. So it's definitely
If I were to drop, so I'd probably be for Jota. If I
that's
felt like yeah.
that's the thing. But Liverpool is definitely going to be tight in league title race, and Jota is an important person. So, but maybe Coutinho is the better
Yeah.
option. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing for Liverpool long term wise, also the fact that they are still involved in the FA Cup and the Champions League. So for the FA Cup, maybe in terms of the personnel, they may not, they may feel some of the players like Minamino, Alex Ox, but then for the Champions League, Jota may end up being first pick
Yeah.
for those matches instead. So it becomes a bit tricky towards the end of the season for Liverpool.
Yeah. So definitely, if let's say managers are heading, you can use Azmi as a guide, and then see where's your fits to your playing style or players. I think this is a
Okay.
good guide.
So just a plan, just for the record. So I was looking at for week 29. I was going to maybe sell and bring in one more Arsenal player, because Arsenal also double in game week 29. So
Yes.
that could be that could be well it could be for Havertz. I
Okay.
can buy Martinelli or Emil Smith
Yep.
Rowe. Yeah, so it depends. Yeah. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean that's what I'll be looking at because for game week 30, I'll probably get off with maybe 8 or 9 players, assuming I don't have a chip to use. I'm comfortable with going with only 9 players if need be.
Good stuff, man. All right. We go to Captain Pete. I don't know. People are still voting for Salah. Yeah, even though he has single game week, because how consistent he is explosive in any day. If they say he need, but his fixture is actually against West Ham, which is not so easy on paper, and at the same time, West Ham actually in the reverse fixture defeat Liverpool by I think 3-2. Okay. The second option, Coutinho, then Jimenez and Rafinha. Okay, we can see all other players are playing double or twice this week. So, what do you think? Is Salah actually the best captain pick for this week, or okay, like we mentioned, double game week, but we already know how double game week players has turned
Yeah.
out to be.
Yeah. So we've had this history in the past. The thing, you would think that Liverpool versus West Ham is supposed to be a tough fixture, but then one thing to remember is that West Ham play Southampton tonight in the FA Cup. Liverpool play Norwich. So there's a big chance that Liverpool will play not a strong team, whereas West Ham will, because
Okay.
they feel that they're good enough to go far in one of these cups. So we'll have to really watch to see what the lineups are, because if West Ham field a really strong team this tonight, then captaining Salah might become an option. It's
Okay.
yeah, can't ignore that. Coutinho is my current pick for captaincy, but that means
Okay.
I
Good.
don't have him yet. I'd have to bring him in, but
Okay.
it's very narrow. It's really hard. Uh, Jimenez that I ruled it out because for this double game week I feel like a midfielder will be a better option,
Okay. Fair.
even though Jimenez is playing at home. Rafinha is an interesting one because it's I mean it's all based on the assumption that the new manager will have Rafinha as the main man, because we
Yep.
saw under Bielsa at one point Rafinha was out of favor for a short while because apparently something to do with his attitude, his behavior, or not going back enough. But after that, when he came back, he scored a goal. But
Okay.
where we consider in terms of the quality, yes, Rafinha is definitely the person in the lead squad to carry the attack. So definitely. Aside from this, uh, I don't. I have to admit I don't have any other options myself.
Okay. Brian says JWP, but it's not in the list, but still a good option.
Yeah, JWP. The thing is, my only frustrating thing is because he doesn't. Of course, he monopolizes all the set pieces, which is good. But in terms of free flow attack, he doesn't get as forward as much. You'd have players like Stuart Armstrong who gets a lot
Yep.
further and
Yep.
gets involved a
Yep.
lot more
So
in the
I'm
attack.
strong. Yes.
Yeah, so it's I like JWP. It's just that his role keeps putting me off.
Okay. Fair. So I think we'll cover more in the deadline show, man. When we look the team news and decide what's the best captain pick.
And we
And
also
then
see
yeah. So then we go through what's your plan this week, man. Give a glimpse.
So yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot, obviously, because not being going outside means that I have a lot more time on my hands when I'm not taking care of the kids. Uh, but yeah, so looking at maximizing the double game week players, but not through a wild card, but just to add on, having a couple
You
more
have like
game
6 double game week players, right? Okay.
at the moment six, but you know king isn't optimum for me. So I try to look at it as having five. Uh, Instead at the moment. So trying to push it up. So it depends now if I wanted, because I like Newcastle, but then Chelsea has appeared. If Chelsea make available as a double game week, Chelsea just becomes more attractive. So what I'm looking at is if I wanted to bring in Havertz, then I would sell Bowen, which means that I would then drop Cancelo to the bench, which is whew. Of course they play Manchester United, but which is which you could argue. Sorry, Manchester
Yep.
United fans, which you could argue is an easy matchup for City, but United are capable of scoring goals. So
Okay, fair.
I felt that we were just unlucky in the last match, and we'll see. But yeah, so that is if I just take a pick and pick up Havertz, which is Bowen for Havertz. Alternatively, Cancelo for Alonso. That's the other option.
Oh,
However, if let's say I wanted to bench boost, because I am looking at that,
okay.
then I may sell Calvert Lewin instead, as
Okay.
well as Bowen. So I bring in Havertz and Watkins,
Nice.
and
And
and,
you
and
play,
bench
yeah,
boost.
and you play Keen, is it?
No, I'll bench boost.
Yeah, so definitely you Keen and Keen, you just
Yeah.
roll in and see how it goes.
Yep. So Keane will come in. Obviously, Keane looks bad, but then who knows with Spurs?
Yep, fair. Fair. Wow. That's nice, man. You have like 7 players double game week, lah, right? Something like that.
Uh, 6+ King.
Okay. All right. So that's what you're thinking right now. Could
Yep.
bench boost. But definitely no wild carding.
No, don't think so.
Okay. All right. Fair. Then all this consideration as we move on to the to this game until Saturday deadline. We will know better how your team will shape up. Mane will stay in, is it?
Pardon?
Mane.
Yeah, insane, right? When you think about it, money is so expensive, yet there he is. But as it stands, based on my current transfers that I'm looking at, yes, money stays in because I have enough money to go Bowen, Havertz, and Cancelo to Alonso, for example. I have enough funds
Yep.
for that. I don't need to um,
Yeah,
sell
yes.
off money.
You definitely ready for game week 29, which Liverpool is playing twice. So okay, good
Yeah.
stuff. All right, let's go to my team. I haven't decided yet. I could be wildcarding, or I could actually take hits for this game week because I have only one transfer. I think we are the same mate because we used free hit last week. So currently my lineup is Foster, TAA, Cancelo, Digney, and Livramento. I think we have the same backline, right? I think so. Okay.
The first four, yeah, not the
Uh,
fifth
and
defender.
and
Lah.
uh, and Foster.
Yeah, Foster and Ramsdale.
Right. Then Saka, Salah, who has my captain armband for now. Rafinha, I have. He plays twice. King, Lacazette, and Ronaldo is definitely on the chopping block. That I can say. All right.
You mentioned that you were looking at wildcarding, but if you were not wildcarding, what would your plan be?
Yes. I'm talking about not wildcarding. If let's say I'm not wildcarding, yeah, I would definitely take a hits, but it's a tough one. It's depending. I'm more interested to bring in Kane because I don't know. Kane just can be monster in any day, and he's in terms of minutes, he's definitely strong.
So Ronaldo for
Uh,
Kane then.
it's also depending on game week 30 whether Spurs play or not.
Yep.
If Spurs blank in game week 30 and I'm not wildcarding, I might not bring him in. Instead of that, Jimenez in the top lah. Okay?
Jimenez. Yeah.
Because Jimenez have double fixture and also playing in game week 30. And I think game week 29 is not bad fixture. So I think Jimenez is the obvious choice. Do not overthink. Okay? And the other one is I like to bring in Coutinho, which Bowen is the one obvious one to remove lah.
Yeah.
King is another thing that made me a headache. I don't think he's the one, but he has two fixture. He might play both game, but less minutes. So I'm not too sure. But Broja is another thinking that I want to do. I'm not sure whether I'm willing to take negative 8 points hits. So that's my move. But
I
that
think
is not taking into account Chelsea double game week. So that is the one where I cannot have all and take a lot of hits. So maybe Wakadin is the right choice, but I'm not too sure.
yeah, I do feel that the Chelsea possibility has thrown you a bit to should you wildcard instead to be to fit. Yeah, because otherwise it's tough. Because obviously I can see candidates for you to transfer off is Gray, Diop, all everyone in your bench, Gray, Diop, and Bowen, and
Yeah,
and Ronaldo to help fund those Chelsea transfers. Yeah,
yeah.
but
That's why if I'm wildcarding and bring in Chelsea asset, say bring one defender, I'm not too sure who to take out. Is it Diop? And because all Cancelo, Digny, Livramento, TAs, all
yeah,
is
this is a problem
good
because you
players.
can't. You obviously if you walk out, you can't bench boost, so you're gonna have to leave someone. If you if in and are you gonna play all five defenders?
Uh,
Which
and
which
it could be like you mentioned, Cancelo is not the one to pick inside the wildcard.
yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
Hmm.
One thing to remember with City is that, especially for those wildcarding, because you have to look at it long term, Manchester City do not have any matches that need to be rescheduled. Yeah, and obviously they're under pressure a bit because Liverpool are only a few points behind. But at the same time, the rotation risk is alive and well. Obviously, Cancelo has been first choice for pretty much most of the team, but I think he's been benched once this season in the Premier League. But I do feel as the Champions League progresses, they may manage that a bit more. So it does become a risk.
Okay, fair. So we'll talk again in our deadline show. I'm not too sure for now. I could
Yep.
wildcarding, I could make transfer, like I mentioned. Okay, man.
All right.
All right. I think we are about to come to the end of the show. Just to mention our deadline this week, game week 28 will be on Saturday, not
Yes.
Friday. So we have
Means
more
our
time.
yeah,
Okay.
and our deadline show will be on Saturday morning if all goes
Yes.
well.
So deadline will be at 7 p.m. So that's about it. Be mindful of this deadline. Also, would like to remind managers, thank you for your support. Do like our video and subscribe to our FPL Jedi channel. Click subscribe and we'll actually push you notification whenever we are going to go live. Okay, man. Last word from you.
Well, thanks. It's nice to be back. It's tiring. We 1 hour plus.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Plenty things to talk to.
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
So all the best, and yeah. But again, hold your transfers. Again, wait until the FA Cup matches tonight finish, and then let's regroup and let's see. And I'll see you. We'll see you on Saturday morning.
All right, guys. Take care. Have fun and see you again. Bye.